please welcome to the stage Disney Channel star Madison Hu from Bizardvark. Good to see you, young lady.
Good to see you.
Have a seat. So I know that the kids are really excited to get to know your story. Now, you just got picked up for a second season on
did.
Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Yay, applause, second season. How amazing is that? So in this second season, have they told you any juicy things that we can share with people or not yet?
I think...
Without getting you in trouble.
I know, I don't want to get in trouble. I think we're going to focus a little more on family, kind of home life, because in the first season we were in Bugle and doing more YouTube guest stars and that kind of thing. So I think we're going to bring family.
Character development.
Yeah.
Cool.
Basically.
Excellent. Awesome. And tell us about the first season. Now, this thing was a huge hit. Obviously, it's very popular, isn't it? I mean, I heard, and I don't know if this is true, it could be just hype, but I heard that your show is now the top-rated series on Disney Channel. Is that true?
I don't know.
I've been hearing rumors about it.
Really?
Yes. And I think by the applause, I think I could maybe verify that. So with this gig that you booked, tell us the audition process, because I've heard Rowan Blanchard's story, I've heard Peyton List's story, Sky Jackson's story. Tell me about your story in booking this gig.
Okay. Well, those people are all super cool, and I really admire them. They're all so nice. And basically how I got Bizardvark was because I did Best Friends Were Never first, and that's how Disney kind of got to know me, and then I kind of went on to audition for the show, and it was a fairly just general audition process. I went in for the first call, and then I went in for producers, and then studio tests, and that was where I met my co-star Olivia, and then after that we just booked it. Yeah.
How did you feel like you did after each time that you went in?
Oh yeah.
For each audition? You know, because I mean, back in the dinosaur days when I was acting, you know, for me, every time I'd go into an audition, I think to myself, wow, you know, that wasn't so good. But they kept calling me back, you know, and I was my own worst critic. Yeah. How was that process for you?
The first call, I usually go out of there with no feelings at all because I don't want to expect anything, but I don't also want to let myself down.
I don't know if there's going to be a second date, so I'm not giving you anything.
Yeah, so I go there on the first, and then I kind of just leave indifferent. And then the second, that's when I start like judging myself. Mm-hmm. And at the producers, they had us sing a funny song. In the first call, they had us sing a song as well. And before that, I wasn't really confident in singing because I don't take classes. I never really thought of myself as a singer. So in the first call, when I did the singing, that was pretty nerve-wracking. Then I left, I was like, I'm probably not going to get this. And then we went to producers, and they gave us a song, which was like, they told us, they're like, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here, so just give us some slack. It was like a kid's song, and it was like about like a cookie or something. And they gave it to us like an hour before the audition. So I did not know the words. We didn't have like lyrics. So when I went into the producers, I bombed it. I did the script, but I could not sing the song. And they're like, did you bring a lyric sheet? I was like, I could not, no.
I have a lyric sheet in my back pocket.
Yeah, I didn't have it. So I left there and I was like, I'm not.
So when did you get to do a chemistry read with Olivia?
That was at the studio test. That was when I first met her. But actually, I met her at the producers. And then we went to studio test, but that was when we read together at the studio test. And it was weird because before that we never really talked. I'd like seen her and we ran through our scene about like once. And then we went into the room, we were like the last pairing. And then we went into the room and we did it and it was like crazy. We were like, oh my gosh, it was so cool, yeah. And then we left and I was like, this is gonna be
How long did it take from the studio test to you knowing that you booked the gig? Because a day or a week or a month must have felt like a year to find out.
It was 10 days. I think it was 10 business days.
So 10 years.
Basically, yeah. Just one day a year, yeah.
Okay. And then when you booked the gig, tell us about the character development. Tell us about kind of how the show came together. Like, did you shoot a pilot? Were you guys picked up for a season? Kind of how did they play that out?
Well, we shot the pilot, which was called Paige and Frankie. And it was basically like Bizardvark, but without the Bugle part of it, without the like YouTube aspect of it, and we shot that pilot, and that was about 3 months, a little over 3, or not 3 months, 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. And then we waited for a couple of months, and then we were told that we got picked up, but the show was going to change a little bit, and we did some recasting, and it was going to change to Bizardvark. And I was like,
What'd you think of that name?
I did not know. My mom told me the name. She was like, it's Biz, and she like, I don't think she really like heard it on the phone. She was like, it's Bizardvark. I was like, oh my gosh, is that like a different like language or something? Are we gonna have to like incorporate different languages? So I didn't really know what it meant, and I was
Because when
like,
I first heard the title, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
yeah, I was like, what's that name? But you grow to it.
What I like about the opening credits is Bizardvark. I like that part.
Yeah,
That's kind of funny.
That's our executive producer.
Okay.
Yeah, he did the voiceover. A little trivia there.
Yeah, very cool. And what's a typical day on the set? What is it like? But from the time, let's say you get the script, do you have a lot of lead time to memorize your lines, or how does that process work for you?
Well, we're multi-camera, so we shoot. Well, we're on set 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and we shoot 2 days out of that week. So we shoot Thursday, Friday. So on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we do rehearsal. On Monday, we get the script and we do a table read. And then on Tuesday, we do producers run through and we rehearse. And then on Wednesday, we do studio executive run through, which is where Disney comes in and they watch us run through. And then we do script changes. So the script changes throughout the week. Usually it's not like too much that we have to memorize it all over again. Usually after all the rehearsals, we kind of like get it into our brains. So yeah, I wouldn't say that memorizing our lines is too hard once it comes to shooting. But
When you're doing those videos, those little sketch videos that you're doing, is that shot outside of the normal shooting schedule, or is that all it is?
It depends. So if it's like a whole other like a bigger production, like the comeback song or like that Bad Hair Day video, that one we shoot on hiatus. So we have a 3-week shoot episode thing, and then we have a 1-week hiatus. And then on the 1 week, usually music videos take about 2 days. So on like Thursday, Friday, or like Wednesday, Thursday, some day, 2 days or 1 day, if it depends on how big it is, we shoot on hiatus and then we come back. So we don't really have a hiatus.
So the writers must, like, after you get this first season down under your belt, then you're like, okay, so the writers are starting to understand me and understand my rhythm of speech and kind of incorporate your character in there. How are you given creative feedback to share with the producers or share with the writers? Like, I really love that, or that works and it's great, but it doesn't feel organic. Do you have those kinds of conversations?
Yeah, they're very
Okay.
good about that. They're very good about making sure that we feel comfortable, and they always come to us and they're like, we don't think like teenagers, so like if you have any like stories that you want to tell us that maybe we could write. And I remember before the show, I told them that I also had a best friend who I made funny songs with, and we would like perform them. We'd make our teacher watch us during recess, which poor him, we were like, come up to him, we were like, so we're gonna do this like ABC parody. Like, he was like, all right. So we told him about, we told the writers about that, and they were like, oh yeah, tell us your stories. You know, if you have any YouTubers that you really like that you like on the show. Olivia's had all of her YouTubers that she really liked come on the show, and
Oh,
it's
that's
really
cool.
Yeah, a lot of beauty gurus.
That's wonderful. And tell us about the experience with Best Friends Whenever, because, you know, Lauren Taylor has obviously come to premiere. She's been to several countries around the world with us, and she has just kind of shared so much of her personal time with so many of the children that are here as well. What was it like to be sort of a newbie on a set like that? Was it welcoming? Was it nerve-wracking? What was it like?
They were all so welcoming. I started Best Friends Whenever, and I was like 12. I was younger than all of them. Landry was closest in my age, and she's 16 now. So it was kind of weird with that age gap, especially because I never really had friends who were that much older than me. So at first I was like, oh, how am I going to fit in, like that kind of thing. But they were so welcoming. It was really a warm set.
And did you have, was it like a guest star role where you had like okay.
It was a recurring guest star, yeah.
Recurring guest star.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I saw a clip of that where you were kind of like getting them in the hallway, and you're kind of like being the annoying best friend or the annoying
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that kind of comedy obviously got you recognition and then got you to the next level. I know a lot of kids kind of wonder how their journey personally is going to unfold, what it's going to be like for them, because that's always the biggest question. We as parents or, as old people, we kind of look at our children and say, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's all a journey, blah, blah, blah." And kids are like, "I just can't wait for this to happen. Can we get this over with already?" So for a young person who went through it, what advice do you have for the kids here in terms of like patience and belief in self and confidence? I mean, it's really hard when you go through all of these different experiences and you're told no,
Yeah.
and you still have to believe in yourself.
You're going to be told no a lot more than you're going to be told yes. And it's going to be hard at first because you're going to have to get into the mindset that no, it's not personal. And there's going to be other roles out there because I've gone through some pretty bad no's where, like, I get to the last stage and then I really want to be on the show, or, like, there's a really cool person on it, but I don't get it. But you just have to realize that it's not your time, maybe.
Do you have any shows you want to mention or any stars you want to mention? Because that would be inspirational for the kids if you don't mind.
Well, I got really close to an Amazon show. I don't think I'll say the name, but
Okay.
I got really close to a series regular on an Amazon show, and I got to be on the show, but they made me a co-star, because I guess I just didn't fit any of the roles, which was really heartbreaking for me because I wanted to like see my friends and like that kind of thing, and I'd become really close with the star, and we were like best friends, and we didn't get to see each other as much, and so that was kind of hard on me. But
You bring up a really good point, though, about Amazon, because obviously, cable is changing. In the United States, it's becoming a very different thing. So what you're doing is you're kind of transitioning into paid content, whether it be like a Netflix or an Amazon. Those are formats that are now opening up brand new opportunities for a lot of actors that I've worked with. And I know that we've had some kids do some work up in Vancouver within that regard. So that's a very big opening for a lot of young actors now, right? That's kind of the big thing.
yeah, Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, those streaming sites they're making a lot of shows. They're all making some really great shows. They're really great and fun to watch.
Stuff is like well written.
Yeah,
it's
they're
not
very well
like
written, yeah.
it's not your average fare. It's very well done. Now with your show and what kids are watching and being a role model, I know that a lot of the kids that I've talked to over the years on this stage, Landry Bender including, she went to the program actually in 2009 when she was a little. And then she came back a year later when she actually did the Jonah Hill movie. And her and I and her mom were up on this stage and we're talking about, being a good role model and then kind of transitioning into all of the other actors that have been here. They've all talked to me about Disney 101, which is,
yeah.
the PR kind of thing,
Yeah.
how you present yourself, being a good role model. Tell the kids and the parents a little bit about kind of how you need to present yourself and kind of etiquette, social media, that kind of stuff. I think it's very important for parents to understand the social media aspect of it and how you present yourself online.
Social media is a big aspect, especially in the show that I am in. But I have to remember that most of my followers are younger, the younger audience. So you have to make sure that you don't really do anything too edgy. Like, you have to remember that there's kids. But I think that it's good to be a good role model and to kind of break some barriers here and there and that kind of thing. And it's good to be a role model and kind of have these young children looking up to you and that kind of thing. So.
It's a big deal. I know, like, Rowan's really found her rhythm
she's
with
great,
that.
yeah.
Peyton List has really kind of found her rhythm with that. Do you have any special interests or any special things that are dear to you in terms of causes or anything that you'd want to share with anybody?
I think I'm still trying to figure that out. I think what Rowan Blanchard does is so great. But she's very, very educated on that kind of stuff. She's very, very well. I could go on and on about Rowan Blanchard. She's so cool. But she's very articulate and that kind of thing. So I think if I educate myself a little bit more, and then I'll kind of see what I can branch into. Yeah.
Okay. And how old were you when you first had interest in acting?
When I was younger, I never really thought of acting as a career path, just because I just never really saw anything that I didn't know that you could be on TV. I thought it was just like really exclusive.
And where were you living?
Thing. I grew up in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was born in Texas, but I moved to LA when I was 2. So basically, I grew up in LA. So I was very lucky to kind of have those resources all around me. But when I first got into acting, my friend got an agent, and she was like, "Hey, why don't you come on down? Come on down."
Come on down.
Yeah. She was like, "Why don't you like come on with us, and then we can like go to like an open call with the agent, and if they sign you, maybe you could get into TV." And that's when I really started thinking, "Oh, you can be on TV." Like I never thought that you could act and that kind of thing. But
And you were how old when this happened?
6 or 7, around there, yeah. So I think as I started to do more work and that kind of thing, my love for acting just.
And your mom supported you in this?
Oh yeah, my parents have always been supportive of this. My mom, I have an older brother who is 10 years older than me, so he would always quit things, and my mom never lets me quit anything. So she's like, if you do it, you have to do it 100%. So she's really been supportive in that, and my dad as well, yeah.
That's cool. So they really help teach you determination, focus. What are the most valuable things that you've learned since you've booked the show? Because it's so easy to talk about, oh, you know, I went through this and I did this and that. But, like, since you've booked the show, why do you think that it's confidence that it gave you to be as good as you are, to realize your own potential?
I think it gave me confidence in a lot of things. First of all, in like myself and that kind of thing, and I've grown obviously in like age and that kind of thing, but I got to meet so many people and I got to do so many things, so I think confidence in myself, which I really needed, and confidence in singing and performing, which was something that I never had, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to kind of not break down.
Do you think that you gravitated towards acting to find confidence?
Yeah. I'm naturally a very shy person, and I think that's always going to be a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
But acting is something where you can just kind of go out of your shell and do whatever you want to do for at least, you know, a couple hours, and you can be someone that you're not, and well, you know, like do different cool situations, that kind of thing. But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, the philosophy of Premiere is if you believe in yourself, the world believes in you. That's our philosophy. And it goes right along the lines of what you're saying. And I think that's marvelous. Guys, let's thank Madison for being here today. Drew West is going to organize you guys into 1,000 groups, and you guys are going to take turns working with Madison on your one-liners, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, when you're working with Madison, I want you to know this is the kind of talent that will be in your next generation Saturday Night Live type of cast member. She is that smart, she is that talented, she's that humble. And you need to have that sense of humble and hungry to be successful at this. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy.